Welcome in. I'm Rebecca Chung. We have a lot to get to today, but first, joining me now is Matt Bretz with Bretz Injury Law. And Matt, I know you're hoping to bring back a bill that died in committee this year. That's House Bill 2707, correct?
That is, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. In short, I just wanted to go over what this bill's about. It's aimed at making sure that drivers have enough coverage in cases that they're hit by an underinsured driver. And can you elaborate on that? What are some of the effects of this shift in policy?
Certainly. Underinsured motorist coverage is something that is required in Kansas in every auto insurance policy. And basically, it is supposed to come in and pay if you are injured by somebody who doesn't have enough insurance. And it's supposed to come in and pay for medical bills and lost wages and so on. But the problem we have in the way the statute is currently written is that there is an offset. And so, just a situation I see regularly. A client with $50,000 in medical bills who was hit by a drunk driver. The drunk driver only has $25,000 in coverage, but there are $50,000 in bills, so they're clearly underinsured. My client has also $25,000 in underinsured motorist coverage, but because there's an offset, the injured person cannot get anything from their own underinsured motorist coverage. And so they get $25,000 from the drunk driver's insurance company, but they're left with nothing for lost wages. They're left with a bunch of medical bills, and they end up getting turned over to collections or sued by the hospital because of this offset.
All right, so extremely important for drivers to have some level of that insurance.
It is, absolutely. And it's a coverage we all pay for, but literally never, and I do mean it literally, never can you get the full benefit of the coverage that you pay for, because there is always an offset for however much insurance the at-fault driver has, whether it's $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000. You never get the benefit of the coverage, and it lines the pockets of insurance companies for writing a coverage that you never get to use the full value of.
All right. Now, looking at the fiscal note for this particular bill, there are some unintended consequences of making this change. I was noting in that fiscal note that includes an increase in the number of civil case filings, according to the Office of Judicial Administration. That's what they were saying. This could lead to more time spent in processing, hearing, and researching cases. Again, the Department of Insurance now weighing in as well, saying it could also increase insurance premiums. So are there plans to address this, or is it worth the changes?
And I appreciate the input and that the insurance industry wants to keep getting these premium payments and not having to pay claims. But I think ultimately it results in fewer lawsuits because there are fewer collection lawsuits from medical providers trying to recover their bill if there is insurance to cover those. If there was any increase in premium, it really would be nominal because, as I said before, every Kansan is already paying for this coverage. It's just a coverage you can't get the full value of. And so perhaps, you know, if this bill goes through, if this bill gets passed, people still pay the same premium, but they actually get the coverage, and they're not just giving a gift to to their auto insurance company. You know, auto insurance companies made $88 billion in net profits last year. $88 billion. And they're paying CEOs of auto insurance companies and insurance companies as much as $75 million a year. So, no, passing this amendment, getting rid of the offset, isn't going to increase our premiums. Perhaps it just finally makes it a fair, level playing field and you get the coverage you pay for.
All right. Now, tell me, this bill didn't make it through this year. How do you see this playing out in next year's legislative session? What sort of effort is being organized?
Yes, this bill has been introduced every year since 2017, and it typically gets squashed in committee by the insurance lobby. But there are extra efforts this year, and the goal is to get it to the floor this year with concerted efforts, largely by the Kansas Trial Lawyers Association, representing people who've been injured across the state. It is one of the main targets this year, basically so that all of us Kansans, you and me alike, get that coverage we pay for.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.